Welcome everybody!
I'm Nelly.
I'm Stefano.
And this is EseEseTV. So, today we're going to talk about a very important and interesting topic.
Hey, what is this kind of topic that we are going to talk about?
It's spreading attention. But what is spreading attention? You know, Stefano?
And I think about this spreading attention is when you centralize your attention into something that you're doing in that moment, I think.
And I think that's why it's very important to talk about what is spreading attention and how can we gain the attention of the students, especially for all of us that are seeing this podcast. So that's why here I have some questions from our followers. So I think we need to talk about it. Okay, so the first question is, do you think the spreading attention is something positive or negative in the classroom?
Well, that first question is very interesting about that. Well, I can say in my perspective that it's very important because you need to focus about the topic that you're talking about, because it's important to us, or maybe to the students, to take notes about the teacher, about what the teacher is talking. Because imagine that in this case you're in the class, you're into the class and you're paying attention, but you are just talking with your friend. I do it in class.
I think your students are your karma. Definitely are his karma.
Yeah.
But here we have another question that I think it's kind of interesting. Why does a student's attention tend to spread or drift during lessons? Well, there are many reasons. Nowadays there are many reasons. For example, I think nowadays they have phones with them. I'm not sure if it's like if the teachers let them have the phones. But for example, I remember when I was in school, I couldn't bring the phone to the school because it was forbidden. But I don't know how is it nowadays.
I think that nowadays is still the same.
Yes?
It's still the same. Because, in the college, it was like, as you said, it was prohibited.
Yes.
So I don't think that the schools are the same. So they keep the same rule about the phone. So you cannot take with you to the school. But about that problem, we can see.
Here's a question. This is a question from Patrick. Do you think using digital devices helps maintain attention? I think that's what we were talking about. That it's like yes and no. 50-50. Because you can you can make more dynamic your class with these digital devices. But if you have many students, for example like us, you cannot control if they are using these devices to make the homework, to search information, or to distract each other. So I think it's 50-50 actually. Okay. Here I have another question that is, how can teachers recognize when a student's attention is spreading or fading? I think that you can recognize if your students just don't pay attention. For example, like Miss Cinta said, looking at everybody.
The eye contact.
Yeah, the eye contact. Because when you see all the classroom, yeah, you can see if someone is talking. You can see if someone maybe is sick and he's like trying to sleep. So I think that's the important part to recognize when they are not paying attention.
Yeah, and something about that Stephanie said is the third thing about when someone is sick, maybe it's like they're very near to sleep, to fall asleep. So yeah, the teacher has a different kind of roles that you need to be very very active with that. Maybe you have another question.
Yes. What teaching strategies can effectively bring attention back to the task? I think that's about what we were talking about like a moment before. So, can you explain again what did you say?
About the eye contact or the...
No, about the strategies that can effectively bring attention back to the task. For example, we said, right, the grabber attention, that it's like a very common activity or strategy. For example, like you said, no? Holy moly! Others? Focus, focus, everybody focus. What else? It was like 1, 2, 3, everybody freeze. That was worse. And I think that's like the most
but yeah,
the
about
easiest
that,
one.
I remember what our teacher said that not all the time it's going to have an impact.
Yes.
Because you need to know in which moment you're going to use that. Or maybe you cannot maybe have the time to use that because the students are not involved in this attention grabbers, right?
Yes.
In this attention grab because they don't have any idea. That's why Nadia said that you can say it and the students are going to be like confused, lost. So you need to train your students with that. So when they finally get it, it's like you can say it and not use your voice because you're getting struggle with voice. The voice is very important to the teachers too. You going to say something?
Yes, I think not only that. I think teachers needs to be like spontaneous. Because, for example, if you use every time the attention grabbers, at some point the students are going to be like, oh, again?
Yeah.
I think you need to try to change strategies. For example, first could be attention grabber, then could be like the bell, to ring the bell for to the students to pay attention. Another could be
your palms.
the palms. Actually, as I was experienced, like I said before, I have 43 students. So I try the advice that Lucinda tell us about like standing in the middle of the class, like in silence. So at some point, one of the students is going to notice that and it's going to say to their class like, hey, that means it's not say nothing. And I try that. The first time it works. The second time. So I think that's why I said that you need to change strategies. Not only like use one.
Yeah.
Because if you use one, at some point they're going to be tired about it, and it's not going to work. So that's good, I think.
Thanks.
So we have another question. How important is motivation in sustaining attention through the lesson?
Well, motivation. About motivation, maybe to start a class, it will be very difficult because, for example, us, we have just take one classes because we are like the newbies in this type of colleges, so we don't know them and they don't know us. So first we need to introduce ourselves and then the participation of the students. So you need to create a motivation, not just the same routine like hello, my name is and I like. No, so you need to be creative about that. What do you use in your first class? About your first class?
In the motivation? Well, actually I used like a box that I call the participation box. But it was a box where I had all the names of my 43 students. And when I want them to introduce themselves, I just pick a name and call that person. So it was like simultaneous. So they were like, "Oh, I'm going to be next. I know when I'm going to introduce myself." So I'm like, yeah, distracted.
Yeah.
That was my strategy, but I think it takes too much time.
Yeah, pick a name.
Yes,
name,
I
name,
spent
name.
too much time in that.
Yeah, and just we have 1 hour and 35 or 45 minutes.
2 hours and 15. No, 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yes. What role do emotions play in a student's ability to stay focused? This is very important.
Emotions.
Yes, you know, maybe when they are sad or they are tired, they are like more able to don't pay attention.
But I think about that, it's emotions and about the mind. Because not all the people are like, because maybe they can control their own emotions. Because sometimes when you're sad, it doesn't mean that you're going to mix when you're in classes. Right? For me, that happens when I work. I can mix it.
But we know that there are different types of person in a classroom. So
Yeah.
I think
That's what I said, because it depends on the people and the person. Yeah, but about the emotions, it's like, yeah, you have a point on that one. About that. So that's why the teacher needs to be focused on that, because you know as a teacher that the kid needs to learn something, and if something wrong is happening, the teacher is going to be the first one who needs to notice about that. And that's why you can help them. You can help them because you don't know about the story behind of the student. So you need to be very attention to that. You need to be very clear with your words, obviously, to get in touch with the kids, to help about what's going on, what's happening, and some things like that.
I know that you were talking about it. The music. Okay, here I have. I think this could be our last question.
Yeah.
It's to what extent does the environment, like noise, peers, technology, influence attention? I think we could talk about environment, especially here in our city. For example, nowadays, in these days, we were like having a lot of
About the weather. Yeah.
Yes. When it's too hot, for example, today, there are classrooms that imagine like 43 people in a
Like around
one classroom,
38 degrees.
and they don't have like air conditioner.
With the feel about 40 degrees.
And it's that evening when the sun is like on the top of the sky. It's like
It's very hot.
I think that it's influenced a lot in attention. For example,
Not even the weather. About noises.
Yeah, the noise
when
too.
When an even